Right guys, it's Weekend Warlords unboxing of Masters 25 by the amazing Nick Savage. He's going to pick two of these boosters at some point for himself and open them. And he's going to talk you through a live unboxing of it right now. Over to Nick.
Hello everyone, so welcome to a Weekend Warlords stream of opening up a box of Masters 25. So it's 25 years of Magic the Gathering, and we've got a new set. This is reprinted cards from all through Magic's history, all the way through from 1993 through to 2018. 25 years is a long time. The card game has been in existence. I think it's the oldest one out there. So 25 years in the making. It's to celebrate, really, their 25th anniversary, and they've put a lot of iconic cards in it. So we're going to get this open. We're going to start opening packs, see what we get. Right then, it's a 24 booster box, I believe. It's designed to be drafted with. Also, in addition to that, some of the cards are quite sought after right now. So one of the big ones, Jace the Mind Sculptor, he's been recently unbanned in Modern. This is a Zeus Lost but Seeking, and I can't remember what this one is. We'll open it and find out and see if we get that card. Right, let's open some boosters up. I'll take this Rivals of Ixalan one out of here. Put this here so we can see where it is. Awesome. Right, let's get cracking. Let's open up one of these boosters. So let's open a Jace booster to start with, find out what's in here. So, one of the very quite interesting things about this set is that, well, every single card has a watermark on it from the set that it was originally printed. Let's have a look at this Vampire Lacerator. So this one is from original Zendikar. You can see here the watermark from Zendikar. I remember this card when we played with it back in Zendikar. It was incredibly aggressive, very fast, a nice quick card that gets you out of the gates. Zendikar was a big format about attacking and not very much blocking. Vampire Lacerator, a 1-mana 2/2, quite aggressive. Let's have a look through the cards then. I'll leave that one there. Right, so through the cards. Ooh. Each booster does have a foil in it, can confirm. Chartooth Cougar, God's Willing, Diabolic Edict. This card, I've started playing this card in my sideboard of my Legacy deck. It's quite good. I went a sought after card in some extent, some for Legacy decks. Deals with 2020s, Elvish Aberration, Assembly Worker, Death's Head Buzzard. Right, I'm trying to work out which ones are the commons and which ones the uncommons are. There's a bit of a difference. So this has got a white logo here for a common, and I believe our first uncommon is Congregate. So Congregate, I remember playing this way back when I started. This is from Urza's Saga, back to the very first set I ever bought. Gain 2 life for each creature on the battlefield. Quite a powerful effect. This is an uncommon, as you can see. There's a very slight difference between the rarity symbols here, which is an interesting one. Right, Will-o'-the-Wisp and Rancor. Sorry, I'll put these under the thing. Our rare is Hannah Ship's Navigator with some amazing artwork from Therese Nielsen. And our foil is Vessel of Nascency. Awesome. I'm going to line these up, so we'll see what we open. So we've got uncommons here, commons here, we've got a token here, and we've got our foils. We'll put them over here, and we'll put our rares in a separate pile over here. So, Hannah Ship's Navigator, first rare. It's a card, it's deemed to be iconic, so it's from Invasion, I believe, originally. Hannah Ship's Navigator, she's a member of the Skyship Weatherlight crew, for those people who love their lore. She returns target artifact or enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. She's quite a good commander, in fact, for Commander. Right, so let's open some more packs. Hannah, I quite like that card. I really like the artwork. Love that artwork on that card. Therese Nielsen, a great artist. Right, okay, so Dusk Legion Zealots, Mog Flunkies, Lunarch Mantle, Horror of the Broken Lands, Giant Growth. This card, it's been in existence since Alpha. It's got the M on it, so Alpha didn't actually have a set symbol. But they've put one on as a watermark to say it's from the early days of Magic. Mystic of the Hidden Way, Presence of Gond, Assembly Worker, Death's Head Buzzard, Colossal Dreadmaw. Those were our commons. Our uncommons, Undead Gladiator. Discard a card, return it from your graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only during your upkeep. Cycling. So you discard it, and then you can discard cards to get it back, and you can cycle it to draw more cards. It's quite a good little engine, that one. Genju with the Spires, Ordeal of Heliod. Our rare, Vendilion Clique. Oh, good. We've opened some money. Vendilion Clique, a mythic from the set. So this card, played a lot in Modern and Legacy. Actually, I'll put that over this side so we can see what we've got. There we go, rares over there. So Vendilion Clique, a mythic from the set, originally printed in, I think it was Morningtide. Flash flying when into the battlefield. Look at target player's hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, that player reveals the chosen card, puts it on the bottom of their library, and draws a card. So what it does, you can play it at instant speed. Say they've drawn their first card for the turn, you play it straight away. You take whatever they might have drawn for the turn straight away from them. We play it end of turn as a flying thing. It's quite good. It's a flash blocker, so you can play it at instant speed and block their thing, so they're not expecting it. This card sees a lot of play in all sorts of formats, so Modern, Legacy, everywhere really. And our foil is Regrowth, another Commander staple, this one. From the early days of Magic, it's got the M on it. That's a very nice card, that is. So we'll put our token there, our uncommons there. We'll leave our mythic over there. Nice and good. Right, I think I'm going to open this booster for myself. I've got a good feeling about this one. I know we've just opened a mythic, but we shall see what we get. This one, the contents of this booster, I'm taking away with me. Unfortunately, these won't be in the they won't be in the folders like the rest of them. All these cards go into the folders, of course. But if I'm going to open a pack for myself, we'll open this one. So what do I get? I get Cloud Shift, Urg Raiders, Hordling Outburst, Knight of the Skyrodai, Echoing Courage, Dragon's Eye Servants, Timberwolf Pack, Disfigure. Disfigure, I like this card. This was again another Zendikar All-Star. Quite aggressive, goes and kills stuff. Pillage, awesome. Destroy target land. I'm not one of these tedious people who like destroying lands, but it's quite flexible. It destroys the land, it destroys an artifact. Haunted Fengraf. Right, so our uncommons, Pillory of the Sleepless. I've got a black-white EDH deck, this will go in it quite nicely. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. Excellent. Heavy Arbalest. Invigorate, for those people who want to play Infect out there. Infect, you don't really care about your opponent's life total because you're dealing poison counters to them. So what it does is that it gives them life but gives your guy +4/+4. And if you're dealing 5 poison damage, then it's quite good. You don't really mind if you actually give them some life because you're going to kill them with poison damage. Right, our rare, or my rare even, sorry. My rare is Eidolon of the Great Revel. Burn players love this card. So what does it do? It's an enchantment creature, so it's an enchantment in addition to creature. 2/2 for 2. It's quite aggressive. Whenever a player plays a spell with converted mana cost 3 or less, which a lot of Modern and Legacy is, Eidolon deals 2 damage to that player. So you play it in your burn deck, you sit there, you play a few spells out, you play this out, and as they try and find answers to all your spells, you just know, okay, you take 2, you take 2, you take 2. In addition, you're dealing them damage with your spells as well, and it just makes the game go faster. Right, this booster is my booster, so I'm going to put it over there. Right, it was good. I like Eidolon of the Great Revel. Eidolon's good cards. I'm happy to have opened that card for myself. Right, next booster pack. What have we got? We've got Pyrehound, Knight of the Skyrodai, Dirge of Dread, Balduvian Horde. So Balduvian Horde was one of the chase cards from Alliances when it first came out. We'll put that over there. It's one of the big cards that they were talking about that was going to be reprinted in a set with some new artwork. So 4 mana 5/5, so this is old school Magic here. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you discard a card at random. Now 4 mana 5/5 with a downside, that doesn't seem too hot these days, but when this came out, this was the hotness. This was amazing. Everyone wanted this card because it was so aggressive. Prior to this, the biggest, scariest creature you could get at 4 mana was a 4/5, which gave your opponent's creature Forest Walk each turn, so Urnam Djinn was the biggest, scariest thing out there, and Balduvian Horde, that's bigger than Urnam Djinn. It replaced it quite a lot. So Echoing Courage, Dragon Eye Savants, Timberwolf Pack, Fathom Seer, Prophetic Prism, Dark Ritual, printed again. Brilliant. 1 mana for 1 black, you get to add 3 black to your mana pool. Really pushes out those aggressive starts from some black decks. They're also very good in combo. Right, so Ancient Stirrings is our first. I'll put those with the where are we? There we go. Put those with the rest of the commons. Right, Ancient Stirrings is our first uncommon. This card being played quite a lot in some Tron decks. Spike Shot Goblin, Murder of Crows. And our rare, oh yes, Elvish Piper. I remember this card. This was one of my first rares way back when. So green tap, you put target creature from your hand onto the battlefield. I wanted to make an Elvish Piper deck. We're not going to talk about the fact that in that same sort of time period, sneak attack was an option. I wanted to play Elvish Piper because I had 4 Elvish Pipers. I didn't have 4 sneak attacks. Elvish Piper, I was looking forward to playing some massive monsters for a single green from my hand. Unfortunately, my Elvish Piper got killed on sight almost all the time. But we're not going to talk about that. I like this card. It's also got new artwork from when I was originally playing it. So it's now got Rebecca Gray artwork. Lovely artwork on that card. A lot of these cards, they've been reprinted, but they've been printed with some of the new artwork that's been commissioned for them. So we've seen some of this artwork available on Magic Online, but not really on a real card yet. So I believe Elvish Piper might have been printed with this artwork before. However, it's nice to see it with this artwork. So let's have a look at some more cards. Right, Nezumi Cutthroat, Crimson Mage, Savannah Lions, Timberwolf Pack, Coral Helm Guide, Epic Confrontation, Skirt Commando, Pacifism back, excellent, another staple card. This one from Mirage, Murder, Totally Lost. So they've included yeah, I can't say his name. Anyway, this card was one of the standout cards from Gatecrash, I believe, and it's got this little dude, Flibberchip. I can't say it still, and Flibberchip has always hated crowds. They've released him as a plushie. Apparently, he's so popular. Right, okay, cool. Let's move on to the uncommons. Blue Elemental Blast. And been playing this in my sideboard for Legacy for a while. Ash Barrens, basic land cycling one. This is going to be quite useful in your limited decks for fixing your mana. And Will o' the Wisp, and Ruick-Thar, and Zillipoth Cutthroat is up foil. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Ruick-Thar. Ruick-Thar is one of those cards that just completely hoses people playing blue. So if you don't like blue, Ruick-Thar's an excellent card. So whenever a Vigilance and Reach, so it's going to block all those flyers that blue like while attacking. So great, it's going to block all the stupid blue flyers. Attacks each combat if able. That's not really so much of an issue. It's a 6/6 with Vigilance, so it's going to remain untapped to block with. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, looking at you blue players, it deals 6 damage to that player. Now my friend Stu has got an EDH deck with Ruick-Thar as his general. I hate playing against Ruick-Thar. He's unfun. Well, actually, he's very fun, but he does stop other people from having fun. So, if you have a blue player in your local meta who thinks playing lots of non-creature spells, drawing cards, and all that sort of nonsense, countering your spells, he thinks that's fun, ruin his fun with Ruick-Thar. Right. So let's have a look at another pack. Cinderstorm, Squadron Hawk. Squadron Hawks in this set, excellent. So it lets you search your library for more Squadron Hawks when it comes to play. If you're drafting, you can play even more Squadron Hawks. I'm also pleased about this. Right next to it is Brainstorm. So let's talk about Squadron Hawk and Brainstorm for a moment. Okay, so I play my Squadron Hawk. I draw another 3 Squadron Hawks from my deck. Brilliant, I've got them in my hand. I've now got a hand full of Squadron Hawks. What do I do with them? I put them back on top of my deck with Brainstorm. So I get to draw 3 cards and put 2 from my hand back on top of my deck. Great, I'll put 2 Squadron Hawks back. That means I've got 1 Squadron Hawk left in my hand. I'll play that again. Search for my 2 Squadron Hawks that I just put back on top of my deck, put them into my hand, and then shuffle my deck. Great, I've just drawn effectively like 6 or 7 cards with just 2 cards. That's cool, right? Yeah, it's good. It certainly is good. I quite like that in draft. Unfortunately, Ruick-Thar, he doesn't like Brainstorm. He doesn't like blue cards. Damn him. Oh well, never mind. So, our other cards. Echoing Courage goes quite well with that Squadron Hawk. Gives +2/+2 to target creature, and all creatures with the same name as it. So, if you played a Squadron Hawk, searched up a bunch of Squadron Hawks, you reckon Courage is going to be able to target them and make them all big. Murder, destroy target Squadron Hawk. Uncaged Fury, Totally Lost again. Self-Assembler, Arbor Elf, tap target Forester. I think that's powerful. Right, so our uncommons. Heavy Arblast, Urbis Protector, Merfolk Looter. Good, I like Merfolk Looter. Ooh, we've got some cards. Right, so, uncommons. Let's put those in the uncommon pile. What have we got? We've got Plague Wind. So, Plague Wind. Where's the rare pile? Cool, we'll put that over there so you can have a read. Plague Wind. Destroy all creatures you don't control. They can't be regenerated. So, Plague Wind, yes. Again, if those people are playing pesky Ruach who's in your way, you can play Plague Wind. Take 6 damage from Ruach and then destroy all creatures you don't control. So, it's great. It's literally a one-sided Wrath of God. So, everything's going to die. It is 9 mana though. It's quite a lot. And our foil is Zoetic Cavern. Zoetic Cavern, you can play it face down for 3 mana as a 2/2 creature because it's got morph. You can turn it face up to make mana. So it's effectively a little bit like a mana rock. It's also a face down creature. It's a land. It goes in your mana base. It does everything. Everything that you'd want it to, apart from maybe kill a creature. Unless you're blocking with it, then it maybe does anyway. Right, so Horror of the Broken Lands, Pyrehound, Coral Helm Guide, Giant Growth, Sift, Primal Clay, Vessel of Nascency, Skirt Commando, Pacifism again, Phyrexian Ghoul. Right, excellent. Let's move things around a little bit. Stampede Driver is one of our uncommons. Spike Shot Goblin, Brine Elemental. Excellent. Rob will be pleased with Brine Elemental. He likes that card. Right, our rare, another Hannah, Ship's Navigator. Can't really complain. I think this card's good. People will like it. It's a legend. It's got lovely artwork. I'll say everything I said about it again. I love the artwork. I love the cards. Brilliant. One of my favourite members of the Weatherlight crew. Not quite the favourite. Still got a soft spot for Squee. Right. God's Willing, Unearth, Coral Helm Guide, Giant Growth, Woolly Loxodon, Twisted Abomination, Jackal Pup, Sift, Primal Clay, Vessel of Nascency. Right. Our uncommons. Jalira, Master Polymorphist. I believe this is a reprint from a Commander set. Yes, there it is. Oh no, it's from Magic 15. Master Polymorphist, sack another creature, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-legendary creature card, put it onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library. So it does polymorph on a creature. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got Pillar of the Sleepless again, Humble Defector, Ratcatcher is our rare. Another card that people have been looking for. So if you've got a deck full of Relentless Rats, for example, in the beginning upkeep, you search your library for a rat card, reveal it, put it into your hand and shuffle your library. Brilliant. So it lets you search your library for a rat every turn. Cool. If your deck is literally full of rats, that's probably a good thing. Trumpet Blast, our foil. Cool. Let's open some more packs then. We're about a third of the way through. We've done all right. We've got 2 Hannahs, we've got a Plague Wind, we've got Ruach, we've got a Vanillion Clique. That's our best pull so far, definitely. Excellent. Right, cool. So let's have a look through. Nezumi Cutthroat, Crimson Mage, Savannah Lions, Dusk Legion Zealot, Dragon's Eye Savants, Timberwolf Pack, Haunted Fengraf, Borrowing 100,000 Arrows. Geist of the Moors, Fathom Seer. Right, so one of the big reprints from the set that everyone was excited to see, Simian Spirit Guide. Until recently, these cards have been quite a lot of money. They were uncommon in Planar Chaos, I want to say. So it exiles Simian Spirit Guide from your hand, add red mana to your mana pool. So this goes in all sorts of combo decks. In Modern, it's fast mana. You can, if you're really desperate, you can play it as a creature and try and beat down with it. But these cards have been quite hard to get hold of. Planar Chaos was a set that wasn't in a lot of... They didn't print very much of it. It was at a time just before Magic went through a big boom. Simian Spirit Guide was quite a lot of money. It's been reprinted in this set. It's now a little bit less than it was. Okay, let's have a look through the rest of the uncommons. Sire the Shinobi, Mesmeric Fiend. Excellent. Cool. Magus of the Wheel. Act of Treason is our foil. Right, I'm going to talk a little bit about Magus of the Wheel, since we've got one. Magus of the Wheel. Right, so what is it? So it's a Magus. So the Maguses that are all cards that had a sorcerer or instant printed on them as an effect. So Magus of the Wheel says 1 in red, sack it. Each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. So it's Wheel of Fortune on a man. So Magus of the Moon, it's a creature, it's a 3 mana 3/3, that's quite effective anyway. You can sacrifice it to Wheel of Fortune. Great, I can play more Wheel of Fortunes in my deck. Wheel of Fortune is quite a powerful effect. Discarding your hand and drawing 7, any Pokemon player will tell you that that's quite powerful. Right, let's move on. Act of Heroism, Act of Treason, that's a couple of acts. Scourge of Dread, Savannah Lions, Mystic of the Hidden Way, Presence of God, Manowar. Manowar's back, great, I love that card. Path of Peace, Prophetic Prism, Dark Ritual again. Cool. Curiosity. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. Great. So you put it on a unblockable creature, attack with it, and then they can't block it. It deals damage to an opponent, you draw a card. You put it on something that taps to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. You can tap it to deal 1 damage to the opponent. Draw a card. I like drawing cards. Ruakthar, he doesn't like me drawing cards, but I like drawing cards. Stang. So, I believe this is actually downgraded. So this was from Legends originally. When it enters the battlefield, create a legendary 3/4 human warrior creature named Stang Twin. So he copies himself. So you get 2 Stang Twins. Exile that token when Stang leaves the battlefield. Sacrifice Stang when that token leaves the battlefield. So you get Stang is a 6 mana, 6/8 effectively with 2 tokens. But if you kill one, you kill them both. Okay, cool. Right, Caustic Tar. Brian Stoutarm. This was another EDH deck that I played for a while. My Lacerator or foil. So I played Brian Stoutarm. Fill your deck full of gain control of your creatures and play Brian Stoutarm, sacrifice your creatures and deal you damage equal to their power. So you steal their creature with a red spell like Act of Treason, and then you sacrifice that creature and deal damage back to them. That was quite fun. My opponents didn't like me. I'm sensing a theme here. Right, so we'll leave Brian Stoutarm there. Magus of the Wheel can go with our rares. Stang and Curiosity can go with our uncommons. Brilliant. Next pile, next pack. Some more cards. We've got a Cinderstorm. What does Cinderstorm do? Cinderstorm deals 7 damage to target creature or player. Oh, brilliant. 7 mana, 7 damage. What's not to like? Returned Phalanx, Soulbright Flamekin, Mystic of the Way, Presence of Gond, Path of Peace, Lull, Court Hussar, Noble Templar, Deadly Designs. So, right, okay, Deadly Designs is our first uncommon. I don't recognise this card. I think, it's from Conspiracy. Put a plot counter on Deadly Designs. Any player may activate this ability. 5 or more plot counters on Deadly Designs. Sacrifice it when you do. Destroy up to 2 target creatures. Cool. Croson Colossus, Quicksilver Dagger, that thing that goes with Curiosity. So you put Curiosity and Quicksilver Dagger on a creature, and you get to ping them and draw 2 cards. Excellent. Oh no, 1 damage to target player. Yes, ping them and draw 2 cards. Cool. Croson Colossus, another uncommon. Excellent, more money. Living Wish. Cool, let's have a look at this card. Living Wish. So, you get to search. Choose target creature or land you own from outside the game, reveal that card and put it into your hand. Exile Living Wish. What does outside the game mean? Outside the game means, in a tournament, your sideboard. So you get to fill your sideboard full of cards that you might want to see in your main deck. So say you're playing a deck that wants to get, I've seen this card in a deck that plays Dark Depths and Thespian Sage. So it plays a copy of Dark Depths in its sideboard, so it can wish for Dark Depths if it needs to. So it plays multiple copies of Dark Depths, multiple copies of Living Wish. So you effectively have 3 Dark Depths in your main deck and another 1 in your sideboard. But you're playing 4 Living Wishes, so you're effectively playing 7 copies of Dark Depths in your deck if you wanted to, or 7 copies of any creature in your deck. That's quite cool. You get to put a lot of them into play. This card sees play in quite a lot of formats. Sees play in Legacy, sees play in Commander, sees play in quite a lot of Cube. The other thing, Living Wish, if you're playing casually, just search your trade binder for anything. Excellent. Right, Trumpet Blast, White Mane Lion, Shoreline Ranger, Inoc Survivalist, Griffin Protector, Nettle Sentinel. Alright, let's talk briefly about Nettle Sentinel. So, let's talk about Elves. Elves is a deck that's been seen play in all the formats ever. Right, what does Nettle Sentinel do? Doesn't untap during untap step. Okay, but whenever you cast a green spell, you can untap it. So there's another card out there that says you can tap Elves for mana. So if you tap your Elves for mana, so say tap a Nettle Sentinel for mana, play a green spell like, I don't know, another 1 mana elf, it's going to untap Nettle Sentinel. You then tap it again for more green mana, play more elves, keep on tapping and tapping your Nettle Sentinels. It's good, right? Inox, where were we? We were there. Right, Uncaged Fury, Counterspell. Counterspells in this format. The old standard blue counter target spell. I know, Ruakthar hates me. Right, Nihil Spellbomb, a good sideboard card, exiles people's graveyards. The Sam Points Invitational card, Core Firewalker. We love you, Sam. We love red spells. Honest. Core Firewalker loves red spells too. Shadow Mage Infiltrator and Myriad Landscape. So Shadow Mage Infiltrator, an actual invitational card. So Brian Finkel won an invitational tournament and was asked to design a card. This is the card he came up with. The original card has Brian Finkel's likeness on it, but this one doesn't. It has Fear, an old mechanic, so it can't be blocked except by artifact creatures or black creatures. Whenever it deals combat to damage to a player, you may draw a card. You're sensing a theme here. I like drawing cards. I like blue cards. I think Shadow Mage Infiltrator is excellent. Right, Myriad Landscape, that was an uncommon, wasn't it? Cool. Darian, King of Keldor. He's our... I've got a foil Squadron Hawk, excellent. And a morph token. Right, let's put these down. Living Wish can go with our rares, that's another good piece of value. Yes, right, so Darian, King of Keldor, what does it do? Whenever you're dealt damage, you can create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. So he's a 6 mana 3/3, put him in play, and people don't want to attack you anymore, because you just take damage and you make a bunch of 1/1 white creature tokens, but you might take damage or you might block with one of your white creature tokens. It can make quite a lot of... So one of my friends, I already remember him playing an EDH deck with this as his general, so there's some good options for it. Alright, what have we got? Mog Flunkies, Lunite Mantle, Horror of the Broken Lands, Coral Helm Guide, Giant Growth, Chandra's Outrage, Nihil Spellbomb, Bloodhunter Bat, Counterspell again, Protector Griffin. Right, Blightning. I remember this card in Standard when it was around. Blightning deals 3 damage to target player. That player discards two cards. Bloodbraid Elfing into Blightning was a brilliant feeling. So you play a Bloodbraid Elf, you cascade into a card from the top of your deck, and you go, oh, Blightning. Okay, brilliant. I've got 3/2 Haster in play, which is my Bloodbraid Elf, and I'm also dealing you 3, and you're discarding 2 cards. Feels so good. Lightning Bolt, another card that goes brilliantly in that sort of deck. Promise of Bunrai. Oh, excellent. Our rare is Blood Moon. Excellent. Good news, Blood Moon. Blood Moon is one of those cards that's in Modern, a throwback to an earlier era, a more elegant weapon for a more civilized age. Non-basic lands are mountains. So what happens is your opponent's playing some sort of 5-colour, 3-colour deck. They've got all these lands that tap for all these amazing colours of mana. Not anymore, they all tap for red because they're all mountains. They can't do anything funky, they're just mountains. Nice fetch land you've got there. Shame it doesn't search you for anything else because it's a mountain. Brilliant. Blood Moon, one of those cards that's from way back when, reprinted in 9th edition I believe, or 8th edition. And yeah, just ruining people's days. Again, Rurik Thar doesn't particularly like Blood Moon, but he probably quite likes it because it makes people have not a lot of fun as well. Blood Moon, one of those cards that tournament players love because it's just going to win them the game. If you can make it early enough in the game, they may be locked out of playing Magic for the rest of the game. Doesn't seem so fun, right? But it does win a lot of games. Dusk Legion Zealot, Thresher Lizard, Renewed Faith, Shoreline Ranger, Inox Survivalist, Ghost Ship, Disenchant, Lull, Murder, Uncaged Fury. Right, some uncommons. Ishan's Shade. What's it do? Protection from White, 5 mana. So it's a 6 mana 5/5 with protection from White. Brilliant. Regrowth, Urbis Protector. And our rare is Hell's Caretaker. Brilliant. Hell's Caretaker. One of those really old cards from, I think, Legends again. Yep. Sacrifice a creature, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only during your upkeep. I think I've said this before. I really like reanimation decks that put creatures from your graveyard straight into play. Hell's Caretaker does that. So if you've got a giant, great big dragon or angel in your graveyard, you can sacrifice, I don't know, your Merfolk Looter, which lets you discard that giant angel. Sacrifice your Merfolk Looter, put that giant thing straight into play. That's cool. I really quite like that. One of my early decks was Merfolk Looters and reanimation spells. Brilliant. Again, Rurik Thar, not a massive fan. Right. So, Loyal Sentry, Vampire Lacerator, Mog Flunkies, Shoreline Ranger, Inox Survivalist, Skirt Commando, Pacifism, Phyrexian Ghoul, Ghost Ship, Disenchant. Right, Fiend Hunter. Fiend Hunter, one of those cards that Enters the battlefield, exile target creature. When it leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So it sort of steals a creature away from the battlefield while it's in play. But when it leaves play, it's going to bring that creature back. More cards. Curse Catcher from my first Legacy deck. I played Merfolk when I first started playing Legacy. This card was one of the all-star staples in that deck. Carvu Predator. Protean Hulk. Oh no. Right. Let's talk to Sam Points again about this card. Right, this card, when it dies, search your library for any number of creature cards with total conversion mana cost 6 or less, put them onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. So, you put this into play. When it dies, you get to search your library for probably some sort of combo. Because you can search your deck for like multiple creatures, so like Kiki Jiki plus something else, or maybe, I don't know, Karmic Guide plus a way to sacrifice Karmic Guide. So you just go, okay, so I make Karmic Guide and put Protean Hulk back into play. I sack Protean Hulk to my sack outlet. It goes mental. Protean Hulk's a really powerful card. I'm going to put these cards up here. All I can hear now is Ash shouting protein at me. So Protean Hulk, he does indeed. He bulks and lifts. He's pretty hench. Now I see that card. All I'm gonna see is Protean Hulk. Oh, brilliant! Thanks, Ash. Right, Unearth, Hordling Outburst, Cloud Shift, Erg Raiders, Horseshoe Crab, Carvu Climber, Skeleton Eyes, Borrowing 100,000 Arrows, Geist of the Moors, Disfigure. Right, okay, Perilous Mir. He's so perilous. Imawari the Open Fist, I think I've said that right. Ire Shaman, Master of the Hunt, oh brilliant, and a Ball Lightning. Right, let's talk about Ball Lightning first. Ball Lightning in foil now, brilliant. Okay, so Trample Haste, the Binuran Step Sacrifice Ball Lightning, 3 mana for 6 damage, great. It's just one of those sort of original classic ending the game sort of spells that Red has. Again, deck full of 3 mana, 3 damage burn spells. Great in play Ball Lightning and kill them out of nowhere at the end of the game. It's just enters play, deals them 6 straight away, and then dies. But it's probably going to die anyway. It's only got 1 toughness. Master of the Wild Hunt. Oh, so this card there's quite a lot to it. This card's been played. It's been really hard to get hold of for years, and it goes in a lot of cubes. So at the beginning of upkeep, creates 2/2 green wolf creature token. So tap all untapped wolf creatures you control. Each wolf tapped this way deals damage equal to its power to target creature. That creature then deals damage to it equal to its power divided as its controller chooses amongst any number of those wolves. So basically you get to make a bunch of wolves, tap all your wolves, and like kill a creature, and then that creature fights those wolves back. Great. Master of the Wild Hunt, the first card that really sort of showed off the sort of fighting mechanic. It was before fight became a thing. So M10 was when this was originally printed. Again, this card has been very hard to get hold of. It goes in a lot of decks, it goes in a lot of cubes. So a lot of people are quite excited to see this card come back. Right, so Renewed Faith, Returned Phalanx, Balduvian Horde again, Aura Master, Ambassador Oak, Accumulated Knowledge, Dark Ritual, Wild Heart Invoker, Frenzied Goblin, Cortesar. Right, Blue Elemental Blast, Genju of the Falls, Ravenous Chupacabra, Chalice of the Void, more money, excellent. Chalice of the Void, let's just put these over here for a moment. Unearth in foil, good, more reanimation spells. Right, Chalice of the Void. So, it enters the battlefield with X counters on it. Whenever a player casts a spell with converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on Chalice of the Void, counter that spell. Cool, so it costs XX, so you can play it on turn 1 for 2 mana, if you had a Simian Spirit Guide, for example. So it enters the battlefield. With a Simian Spirit Guide, it means that no one can play 1-cost spells. In a format like Legacy or Modern, a lot of people are playing a lot of 1-cost spells, because in Legacy everything's legal, so you play the most efficient version of everything. There are some decks out there that only play 1-cost spells. Chalice of the Void is really going to get them quite hard. So Chalice of the Void, it's been a card that a lot of people have been trying to get hold of recently. It's now been reprinted in Masters 25. It's available again. This card, it's one of the cards that they were it was exciting to see reprinted in this set. Brilliant. More value. So we're doing well. We've got a Vendilion Clique, we've got a Blood Moon, we've got a Chalice of the Void. We're doing well, I think, so far. The real chase cards that we want to see out here are Jace the Mind Sculptor and Imperial Recruiter. Imperial Recruiter is one of those cards that was in, I believe it was in Portal 3 Kingdoms originally, and is very, very hard to find. There's a very limited supply of them. So yeah, if we open an Imperial Recruiter, we'll be happy. Right, Monk Flunkies, White Mane Lion, Nezumi Cutthroat, Crimson Mage, Plummet, Choking Tethers, Colossal Dreadmaw, back again from Ixalan, Skeletonized, Borrowing 100,000 Arrows, Geist of the Moors, right, our uncommons, Zoetic Cavern, Zombify, Lightning Bolt again, Living Death. Now this actually is one of my favourite cards of all time. So what does Living Death do? Living Death, with new artwork that I've not seen before. Amazing. So each player exiles all creatures cards from their graveyard, then sacrifices all creatures they control, then put all cards they exiled this way onto the battlefield. So basically it swaps all the creatures in play for all the creatures in the graveyard. So you're spending a nice long game playing creatures, getting them killed, probably for profit, probably for they come into play, they do stuff, they leave play, they do stuff, great. You've got a giant graveyard, you've got some way to exile all your opponent's creatures from their graveyard, and then you play Living Death. Everything that they've got in play dies, everything that is in all graveyards come back into play. It's a symmetrical effect. Now, symmetrical effects in Magic are easy to break. So I can build my deck around this symmetrical effect called Living Death to have massive loads of creatures in my graveyard. My opponent has none. Living Death then just puts them all into play, and hopefully I'll win the game on the spot. Probably not though. Some blue player out there is going to counter my spell and stop me having fun. Rurik Thar is going to deal me 6. At the end of the day, I really like Living Death. It's my sort of card. Right. Supernatural Stamina, Act of Treason, Auramancer, Ruthless Ripper, Plummet, Choking Tethers, Mana War, Disfigure, Wild Heart Invoker, Pillage. Cool. So some commons, Red Elemental Blast. This card really doesn't like blue spells. Counter target blue spell, destroy target blue permanent. Great. I get to kill Jace. I get to destroy blue things. I get to counter blue things. Blue's just not going to have a good day with that in my deck or in my sideboard. Kong Ming Sleeping Dragon. A card from Portal 3 Kingdoms, so a card that hasn't really seen much print previously. Kong Ming Sleeping Dragon was printed in a commander set, but it's not really been out there very much. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. A 4-mana 2/2 that pumps up all your creatures. Great. Right, so Urbis Protector and Flash. Right, let's talk briefly about Flash. Right, he saved every one of us, Promise of Bunrai. Flash. So what does Flash do? Flash says you may put target creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you do, sacrifice it unless you pay its mana cost reduced by up to 2. So Flash, okay, so you get to put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield at instant speed. You pay 2 less mana for it, but then you've paid 2 mana for Flash. So what good is it? Well, it's good if you've got the Protein Hulk, because he's been lifting. But with Flash, you get to play your Protein Hulk, and whenever it dies, search your library for any number of creature cards. So you play Flash. Okay, great. I put my Protein Hulk into play. I'm not going to pay his mana cost. His mana cost reduced by 2, though. He dies straight away, which means at instant speed, I can go Protein Hulk. Oh look, I can put all these things from my deck into play. Oh look, they do more things. I get more Protein Hulks. We'll go again. And this Flash Hulk, as the combo has been called, was banned for a certain amount of time in a lot of formats. I believe Flash still is banned in some formats, but this is one of those iconic combos from Magic from the years gone by. Flash Hulk, yeah, what a combo, absolutely brilliant. Love to see it in this set. It's a celebration of historic Magic, and this is one of those combos that's defined Magic for years and years and years. Right, so Loyal Sentry, Vampire Lacerator, Chartooth Cougar, Elvish Aberration.
Coffee.
I'm alright, thank you. Cheers for the offer though. Sorry, I've been offered coffee. Elvish Aberration, Brainstorm, Vessel of Nascency, Twisted Aberration, Chandra's Outrage, Disenchant, Self-assembler. Right, cool. Watchwolf. A classic vanilla 2 mana 3/3. No flavor, no text, just flavor text. Only in Ravnica do the wolves watch the flock. Brilliant. Fallen Angel. One of those old classics. Fierce Empath. Ball Lightning. Cool. And most importantly from the pack, probably the card that's worth the most money in that pack, Foil Brainstorm. Yes! Love a good Foil Brainstorm. So Brainstorm is one of those cards that defines Legacy. And foil ones are very much sought after. There we go. So Foil Brainstorm, it's nice to see that. Right, I'm going to keep this pack for myself. We've only got 3 left after this one, so I have a good feeling about this one. So we'll see. This pack is going to be my pack. So here's hoping for a Jace the Mind Sculptor, Imperial Recruiter, could be anything, even a boat. You know how much we've wanted one of those. Right, Supernatural Stamina, Soulbright Flamekin, Loyal Sentry, Ember Weaver, Retraction Helix, Skirt Commando, Pacifism, Phyrexian Ghoul, Ghost Ship, Disenchant. Right, what are my uncommons then? So, Undead Gladiator. I think we've talked about this one before. Pyroclasm, deals 2 damage to each creature. Brilliant. Corona Zealot. Right, I'm going to turn these over because I want to delay the inevitable. Oh, that's our rare. I don't want to look at that one just yet. So there's Corona Zealot. Right, so what's my token? My token is a Goblin token. Brilliant. This is my foil. This is my rare. So, what's better? So do we want to look at the foil first or the rare first? We'll look at the foil first. Our foil is Elvish Aberration. So what does it do? It taps that triple green to my mana pool. Also Forest Cycles. Cool. I'm sure I'll find a place for this. It's a good elf. It's an elf mutant. Forest Cycles. So it can go in a nice cycling deck. Brilliant. Right. So this rare, we're putting all our hopes on. Should we see? Should we look? No. Let's have a look. It is a Chromis Vengeance. So cool. A Wrath of God that has cycling. So 6 mana, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. At the end of the day, some EDH decks just want to play all the Wrath of Gods. A Chromis Vengeance goes in those kind of decks. So it cycles. Brilliant. That means I can play all the cards that trigger with cycling. Destroys everything. Great. I'm pretty sure there's probably someone out there who wants this card. I've got some already, but I can't complain. It's a good card. It destroys all things. Yeah, I'm happy with this card. And there could have been better, but there could have been a lot worse. At least I didn't get a tree. So one of the mythics that they put in this set is the tree, and it's good. I like the tree, but again, it's probably not the greatest card that you could open. I'm glad it's not a tree. But anyway, Squadron Hawk, Ruthless Ripper, Trumpet Blast, Elvish Aberration, Brainstorm, Epic Confrontation, Fencing Ace, Woolly Loxodon. Look at him, he's so woolly. Twisted Aberration, Jackal Pup, Simian Spirit Guide. Excellent, another Simian Spirit Guide. I'll put those over there briefly. Oh, I don't want to... Stealing that Brainstorm off the shop. Don't want to do that. Right, Simian Spirit Guide. Exile, the Simian Spirit Guide again. It's good to see this card being reprinted. I'm glad. So, Fiend Hunter, Law Scale Quattle, Fortune Thief, and Conflux. Oh, yes, Conflux. Let's talk about Fortune Thief briefly before we get there. Fortune Thief. So, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. Great. So, it kind of is going to stop me losing the game. So, I can have this in play. I can not be reduced to 1. I can have it as a morph, so it's a face-down creature. It could be anything. So you have got this card face down in play. This card face down in play. You turn it face up, and it's a Fortune Thief. Great. That means that suddenly I would be dying, but then I'm not. And our foil, Conflux, a rare from Conflux, the name of the set. So search your library for a white card, a blue card, a black card, a red card, and a green card. Reveal those cards, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. Cool. So a lot of 5-colour decks out there want to play Conflux because Conflux, or a 5-colour EDH deck, sorry. So a lot of decks out there want to play Conflux. So it's going to let you search for all those cards that you want to have in your hand so you can win the game, so you can not lose the game. It's 8 mana, that's a lot of mana, but in EDH you'll get there because EDH is the format of everything. Everything you could ever want. Excellent. Conflux gives you everything you could ever want. Right, Chartooth Cougar, Act of Heroism, Diabolic Edict, Elvish Aberration, Brainstorm, Kindle, Dauntless Cathar, Relentless Rats, Epic Confrontation, Fencing Ace. Right, Baloth Null. I don't even know what this card does. Where's it from? Oh, right, okay, so it's from one of the Zendikar sets. When it enters the battlefield, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. I didn't recognise that card. I'll put Perilous Mere next to it. Right, cool, Perilous Mere. Brilliant, love that card. Utopia Sprawl. Again, this card lets you ramp up, so you enchant a land, you choose a colour, and then whenever that forest is tapped for mana, it adds an additional colour mana to your mana pool of that colour. Great. More money though. A Fetid Heath. Cool. And we've got a ghost ship. I said we wanted a boat. Cool. A flying foil ghost ship. Right, Fetid Heath. What does it do? So it taps side colours to your mana pool. You can tap it for, you pay black or white and tap it. It adds white, 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 black, or black, black to your mana pool. And then that's great. So it filters your white or black mana into more white or black mana. Great. So it's gonna it's one of those lands that's, this is originally printed in Eventide, so the Eventide filter lands have been very hard to get hold of until recently. They've put them back in this set, so that there's an opportunity to get those cards. So this is our last booster, our final booster. So we're going to find out what we get from our final booster. Again, don't forget, all these cards we've opened today, they're going to be in the folders here at Weekend Warlords. So you can come into the shop and buy them, or you can have a chat with Ash and John online. They say some of those cards have already gone. I don't believe them. Right, God's Willing, Diabolic Edict, Cinderstorm, Squadron Hawk, more Squadron Hawks, Echoing Courage, Dragon's Eye Savants, Path of Peace, Lull, Courtesar, Noble Templar, Krosan Colossus. Right, Krosan Colossus is our first uncommon. Promise of Bunrai. And our next uncommon is Freed from the Real. Okay, cool. Let's hide it away and do the slow roll for our last rare. So our token is Whale. Whale. Great. So we've got two. We've got a foil and we've got a rare. I'm going to go with looking at the foil first. Let's see what we get. So our foil is Skirt Commando. It deals combat damage to whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may have it deal 2 damage to target creature that player controls. It's got Morph, so you attack with this 2/2 that they don't know what it is, so you got to face down, you attack with it, and they go, oh, I don't block that, it could be anything, even like a 5/5 thing. You go, I turn it face up, it's still attacking, it deals damage to you, it then deals damage to that creature as well. Great. Skirt Commando, a brilliant card from that set, from Legion was the set. Right, so this is our last rare from the box. Here's hoping. It is a Pendlehaven. Great. Pendlehaven, again, one of those cards that's seen play in a lot of decks. So tap to add green to your mana pool. Target 1/1 creature becomes +1, gets +1/+2 till end of turn. So you play it in Infect, for example. Infect, a lot of the Infect creatures out there that you want to pump up and make bigger, they're all 1/1s. So you play Pendlehaven in Infect and it pumps up those 1/1 creatures. So great, we've got a Pendlehaven. Let's review what cards did we get that we really thought were worth quite a bit of money. So we had, let's have a quick rummage through. There's Blood Moon, cool. So we had Vendilion Clique. Vendilion Clique, good to see it reprinted. It's been quite a lot of money. It goes in a lot of decks. It's the second time it's been reprinted though. Blood Moon, one of those staples from Modern that gets played in all kinds of decks. And Fetid Heath. Oh yes, sorry, Chalice of the Void as well. Chalice of the Void. So, 4 cards out of a box. 4 cards that we thought were pretty good, that we thought might see a lot of play, that were worth, we thought, or I thought, a fair amount of money. So, Blood Moon, Fetid Heath and Chalice of the Void. Can't really complain. I feel like this box would have been worth it to buy. Cool. Thank you very much. I've been Nick Savage. This has been Weekend Warlords. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nick. Just to point out that those cards will be available on Friday, and we'll probably be putting this video onto our YouTube channel. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, Weekend Warlords, and we'll see you soon. Thanks very much, Nick. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks, John.